Inshallah, I think we can start now. Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Michelle, and I will be your host. If you have any questions for our speaker during the presentation, please use the Q&A function throughout the webinar, and our speaker will do their best to answer them as much as possible after the presentation. With this being said, please allow me to introduce to you today's panelists, Anastasia, Maxim, and Alexandra. Anastasia is the guest researcher working for SAW Components, as well as a fellow Chancellor's Fellowship for Prospective Leaders or the Humboldt Foundation. Maxim is the director of the Department of Preservation Technology for Siltec Group of Companies and has been working in the field of automatic identification systems since 1998. And Alexandra is the RFID Senior Project Manager of Siltec Limited, and today they will be presenting the topic of the Russian RFID market. Without further ado, I will now pass it on to Anastasia, who will start her presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello to everyone. So I don't need to introduce myself and my colleagues. And that's why we will start with a short overview of the Russian RFID market. And after it, we will have a discussion with Maxim and Alexander about their view on our market. Unfortunately, Alexander Grebennik had sudden circumstances, and he wrote me 1 hour ago, and so he cannot participate in our presentation. But I'm sure that we will be a nice discussion with Maxim and Alexandra. So, first of all, I would like to give you a few words about the changes in the RFID market over the last 6 years. As some experts say, and as you can see on the slide, the market has doubled, and the current market volume of RFID solutions in Russia is estimated at approximately $250–300 million USA, and it's near 2% of world's market. So pilot projects are a thing of the past, and now it's time for large-scale projects. Here, I mean using RFID applications to ensure traceability of a full life cycle of a product. So in the last 6 years, the situation has changed, as you can see on the slide. And first of all, it's about the tag price. I mean inlays. The tag price has decreased from 20 cents to 4–5 cents, and I mention it if we take the volume of 10 million tags. Secondly, we can observe some changes in the market players, and especially if we speak about SOMA market, surface acoustic wave market, and the semiconductor RFID market has welcomed only a couple of new companies. With one of them, we will speak today with Silke. The market breakdown by frequencies bands has not changed a lot, and currently approximately 60% of the used labels are UHF, 25% HF, and 15% LF. About 98% of tags are passive. So the number of requests on average has remained stable, but the quality of requests has changed dramatically. Early companies viewed RFID technology as a curiosity and wanted to give it a try to see if it fits their needs or not. But now they have a clear understanding of what exactly they need and why. Along with that, the scale and seriousness of tasks that enterprises are trying to solve using RFID are completely different. Now I would like to give you an overview of milestones in the development of RFID market in Russia. So from 2005 to 2010, nobody has an idea what RFID is, and first RFID integrators appear. From 2010 to 2013, the awareness about RFID is growing. Companies implement first large-scale commercial projects. However, only 20% of customers contact producers in the first place. And many producers act as missionaries, spreading the word about RFID in the market. And from 2015 until now, customers contact RFID companies to commission a project. So now, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, many countries have seen a decline in the number of projects, and Russia is not an exception. And so mostly projects financed by governmental organizations are now in the pipeline. So the main players in the Russian RFID market, the same as everywhere, producers and integrators and distributors. Russian RFID market cannot boost many producers of equipment, and only two companies produce RFID chips, Micron and Crocus Nano Electronics. Micron produces their own HF chips and uses them in the inlay. Besides, they have launched pilot production of UHF chips, yet the level of technology is similar to that of Monzo 2. It's only reasonable that current stagnation of the RFID market hinders further development. The second company, Crocus Nano Electronics, focuses on pilots with UHF chips. So we wait the results of the pilot project. There is only one company that makes inlays, RST vent, and from 2 to 3 companies that package RFID tags, and with one of them, with representatives of one of them, we will speak today. Russia has virtually no big producers of readers, and according to Russian Integrators, no company in Russia can make a reader. We do have some pilot projects, and this is it. So some integrators use imported components to design their own readers. From 20 to 30 medium-scale projects are launched on the market annually. And as you can see on the slide, average volume of text per project is 15 to 20,000 items. If we speak about industry projects, this number is smaller, 5 to 10,000 items. So, Russian RFID market is slow-paced compared to Europe and USA. And why is that? Of course, first of all, because of the high cost of the equipment. High price, no orders, high price. And unfortunately, it is still very difficult to break this circle, and government programs may help with that, but I will cover the governmental programs in more detail later in my presentation. The challenges number 2, 3, and 4 are interrelated. Number 2, low consumer awareness about RFID possibilities leads to a lack of understanding. So potential customers know something about RFID technology, but they don't know all about its advantages. And the only way to solve this problem is to launch awareness raising market initiative. But here we get challenge number 3. RFID consumers are not so willing to share information. And they think that RFID is a huge competitive advantage, and that's why they want to sign NDA with integrator or producer of RFID. So, and finally, the 4th challenge is low quality of customers' business processes, and the benefits of RFID technology are in the wide range of its possible application. So in most cases, medium-sized Russian enterprises have outdated systems for conducting the business's processes, which doesn't allow to use an RFID system and enjoy all of its advantages. So another issue I cannot but I mention is unwillingness, and it may affect all possible levels within the company's structure, including IT department, which are usually responsible for RFID development and implementation. So despite all of the challenges I have outlined, RFID technologies are gaining momentum in Russia, and producers are trying to find new spheres for the application. So these days, the majority of RFID providers carry out projects for some spheres. And first of all, it's production. Here I mean identification of components in production process as well as the end product as such. For example, automotive, railroad, oil and gas industries, metal structures, and so on. Second sphere is animal tagging, and it's nowadays very popular theme in Russia. This sphere is experiencing huge growth because since the January of this year, the new Russian legislation will require to tag all domestic and agricultural animals. Third the direction is logistics, and this direction started to develop a few years with the Russian project known as the Fluor Code project. And from August 2017, producers have to tag all the fluor items. It only took 3 months for the state investment into the Fluor project to resume, so it's very fast. Now, a tag for a wholesaler costs near 27 cents, for a private seller near 80 cents. This case made big companies think more seriously about RFID implementation. So oil and gas industry is very popular theme in Russian RFID market. Oil and gas companies are trying to tag whatever comes their way, from personnel to drill pipes, and the orders from them are many and continue to grow. Banking, this is a new sphere for RFID in Russia. Some state-owned banks use the identification of ATM cassettes as well as cash and transit identification, but it's not so popular. One more, this is the medicine. The COVID-19 pandemic has contributed to the popularity of RFID applications in the medical field. RFID is used for the identification of medical tools and equipment, as well as to determine the items spent by personnel in high-risk red zones. Another theme, the last but not the least, special protective equipment. Here, the RFID development is associated with such spheres as industry and medicine. So today, according to the experts, the key drivers of Russian RFID markets are the next one. So first of all, foreign retail companies which penetrate the Russian market with the RFID technology, such as Decathlon, Adidas, Zara, Maxim, and so on. Some of them use their own technologies and equipment, but others buy Russian tags and rock the Russian retail market. So thanks them for this. Government run projects, and here I would like to mention FUA and library projects. The FUA project was supported by the state, not only for checking the tax receipts, but also for the development of RFID. The implementation of this project was a success. So it was planned to introduce RFID to identify shoes, caviar, jewelry, tobacco, and tires. But however, these projects were not implemented. And in the first place, due to the high cost of equipment. As a number of manufacturers says, do we actually take the slippers with labels, or do we take the labels with slippers? Secondly, the initiative of Chestnut Znak, symbol of honesty, appeared on the market, and it advocates for tagging all the products with 2D codes. That's smarter. And the initiative is supported by a number of influential Russian business tycoons. So this was the final point in the large-scale government-supported introduction of RFID in the Russian market. So yes, the first steps were made, and of course, they help to promote the technology among big companies. So more than now, the producers already understand how they may benefit from RFID, for example, for cost reduction in logistics and reduced possibility of confinement. So today, tags are common in oil and gas industry in the identification of beer kegs, reinforced structures, metal structures, and so on. What I was actually going to share with you was a pool of projects implemented in the Russian market. But however, then I conducted RFID integrators for information. They answered me, sorry, we signed NDA and we cannot share with you any data. But I hope that today Maxim and Alexander will tell us a little bit about their project. And so, as I said before, Russian market cannot boost many players, and this slide show major producers of chips and tags. And the next slide, this slide, we can see the main integrators of RFID in Russia, but it's not all of them. And usually they specified in some fields like libraries, industry, oil and gas, or logistics, and it depends on the software. So Datem is the main distributor in Russia. However, now more and more integrators buy equipment by themselves. So, and maybe you heard about the Russian trend of so-called import substitution, and companies get some government aid if they use Russian equipment, and of course it will help Russian RFID companies to promote our equipment on the market, because our customers start to use this possibility. And because of the difference in the exchange rate, companies have started to import their production and to open office in Europe. I mean, our Russian RFID company. So finally, I would like to give you a short overview about some market, such as acoustic waves. I can tell you why, because nowadays more and more companies in Russia, they try to find replacement to the active tags, and some of them would like to buy saw tags, but unfortunately in Russia we don't have producers of saw tags, and only 3 companies in Russia, one of them in Omsk, another in Moscow, and the third one in St. Petersburg. They produce some filters, delay lines, and resonators on the surface way. So, and to conclude, I would say that now RFID technologies in Russia are developing faster than 5 or 6 years ago, and the market has new players. Companies have started to produce their own equipment, and it's wonderful. However, many business processes are ineffective, and there is not enough governmental support. These 2 factors hinder the RFID development in Russia, and all the market players are sure that in the next 2-3 years, the market will be much more dynamic. This is the end of my presentation, and I would like to give possibility to Alexandra to tell a few words about her view on the Russian RFID market, and maybe tell us some words about their company and what they produce. So please, Alexandra.
Thank you very much, Anastasia. As far as RFID market in Russia is concerned, we're now currently witnessing a huge boost and a lot of projects upcoming and that are already in process. And so right now we can say that the market is developing and getting bigger and bigger. And thanks to, well, sadly, but thanks to COVID-19 situation, we have enlarged our sales, and right now we can say that the outcome is even more well-looking than we thought it would be.
It's nice to hear about this, yes, and I hope that the future of the development will be wonderful. So can you introduce your company? Maybe you have a presentation and you can.
Yes, surely we will do that right now. By the way, I'm here with just a second, we'll need to share the screen.
Because of course I can tell a lot of good things about FieldTech, but I think it's better if they tell about them by themselves.
Okay.
Because
my name is Alexandra Ivanova. Good day to everybody. I'm RFID Senior Project Manager in FieldTech, and we're going to talk about multivariate engineering solution to RFID hardtech production here in Russia. Let me speak about our group of company first. We have, a network here. Our headquarters is in Moscow, but we also have a European office in Germany, and 3 manufacturing plants. One is in Tallinn, Estonia, other is in Astana, Kazakhstan, and the main one is in Dmitrov, which is on Moscow outskirts. Our history lasts for more than 25 years now, and it all started with selling seals, safety seals. And in 2002, we launched a manufacturing plant in Dmitrov, and then 16 years later, we were the first to launch the serial production of RFID hardtags in Russia and RFID seals. Moving on, we have expanded and even exported our RFID safety seals to Eastern Europe. And we're moving on and enlarging our product family from project to project by customer requests. So, speaking of what does RFID hardtag manufacturing plant need to perform all this, of course, it's all about equipment. We have robotic system that was originally used for manufacturing and designing plastic sealing devices, but now we also use this robotic system for manufacturing our RFID tags. Here you can see sets of equipment by Weidmann and Bettenfeld. And it's not only imported equipment that we use. We also design and manufacture equipment for our needs. For example, in this picture, you can see the machinery for pressurizing, and this is how we make the body of the RFID tag, literally get it by welding together. This is another photo of our machinery. Another step that we take to make the RFID tag, the body of RFID tag, complete. This Battenfeld machinery is usually used for designing animal ear RFID tags. Also, we have ultrasonic welding station to make the laser marking. And here is the example of what it looks like. We use Atlantic Sizer, a mega product family. And as you can see in the picture, these are the results, especially on the right picture. But it's not only about machinery and equipment to get this production work. It's also lab work that you have to establish, because you have to make sure that all the tags you proceeded can work properly at customers. For example, we use climate chamber to make sure that our hard tags can go through high temperatures and cold temperatures. We also use self-designed quiet chamber to make sure that the tag works on the right frequency and the distance is as we state in standards. And also when RFID tag is marked, we use linear and 2D code verifier to make sure that while scanning, the device, the mobile computer, can receive the information correctly. But not also these applications and tools we use to check RFID tags quality. We also use Voyantic Tag Performance Pro by Voyantic. This is how we control the effect of the hull material on range, sensitivity, etc. And in the middle, you can see these quiet chamber photos live. So the RFID tag is put in the very middle, and then the chamber is closed and all the tests are being undertaken. And this is the example of the charts that we have after the quality control that is made. We check the frequency, like whether the tag actually responds on the right frequency, because here in Russia we have a range, like a little range, and we have to make sure that the tag will respond properly. So a little bit about our RFID hard tags. As you said and mentioned before, there are plenty of companies worldwide, and some of are here in Russia, who produce and manufacture inlays label. We are focused on tag body. It's variable, and we use various raw materials, but we will talk about this later on. Types of body of RFID tags. It's either inlay and plastic body, inlay and indicator sticker, inlay and safety seal, inlay and safe package, or inlay and metal body. And this is one of our latest know-how, and we widely use it in rail industry. And if we want to divide our hard tags into groups, there will be for metal objects, for no-metal objects, and for objects made of uneven surfaces, such as big bags, for example. This is the example of RFID safety seal. You can see that our RFID label is integrated into the seal and makes the simple seal even more promoted and more variative, I would say, to work with. As the example, as I said before, there are RFID indicator stickers and RFID safe packages. And if we talk about RFID indicator stickers, then the label is usually placed underneath. And if we're talking about RFID safe packages, the RFID label is put inside. Well, here we come to types of RFID hard tag of S-tag series. These are quite a range of application. We have universal tag, best for metal objects like 3D, and there's a huge series on them. The tag for bags, as I said, uneven surfaces, for woods, for concrete, for pillars and racks, for cement bricks, for mounted wheels, for equipment, for animals, and for pallets. And we are very welcoming customers' requests, especially if they are asking for large parties. We are really, really willing to design new products for them. Our construction is based on ultrasonic welding mainly, but also can include gluing and pressurization. I'm sorry. Here is the product family of S-tag 3D. Just would like to talk about it briefly. These tags were designed for metal objects, and the more time passed, the more modification came, because some of customers said that this tag is best, but it's hard to mount. So we designed slims, flats, minis, and other tags that we're going to cover next. This is our, let's say, best-in-class tag, shock-proof, resistant to temperature swings and humidity changes. It has the core inside in the very middle that provides the polarization to be like this tag can be reached from any point. That is why it is called 3D. And this is the modification used. The technology used here is no-dim magnet mount. So instead of mounting by screw, clamp, or strap, you can mount it with magnets. Next one is pretty much the same 3D, but the smaller compact body and multivariative in terms of mounting options. Slims, different kind of modifications. It's pretty much the same as 3D functionally and technologically, but of different shape. And it also has a core, and the reading distance is still the same, but for some projects, these kind of tags are more applicable than our 3D tag, simple tag. This one is JD Mini, and it originally was designed to mark and identify the pallets in warehousing complexes, but then it turned out that it can be applied even for accounting office equipment or any other non-metal object. But last year, we also launched this universal RFID tag for metal surfaces and still working on its reading distance. Next one is our, let's say, know-how and well, kind of a bestseller in the industry. If we're talking about big bags and uneven surfaces, you can see this elastic RFID UHF hard tag, which is made of elastomer, and it can be used, and due to its flexibility, it can be used in various environmental conditions and still responding to mobile computers and stationary readers. These are modifications of elastic for big bags. They are also made of elastomer, and due to their size, the reading distance is bigger and longer because inside of them implemented the bigger antenna. This one is this hardtack was originally designed to mark woods, but as you can see, due to its unique construction, you can mark anything with this tag, because the label, the RFID tag itself, is hidden here. And for example, even if you want to mount it on metal objects, due to the distance between the object itself and the label, the reading distance won't be worse than in comparison to non-metal objects. And here we have multivariative mounting. It can be either nail or magnet, and it can be screwed or strapped. Aztec Quest is widely used for lightning pillars, structures, advertising stands, and etc. And here in Moscow, we have a huge road, like a circle road that is kind of getting the whole town circled. I'm sorry, but still, a lot of lightning pillars are standing there, and the problem that we were solving is how to define, how to identify which pillar is, which pillar needs to be renovated or changed, or needs some service. And we equipped each and every lightning pillars with such tag that somehow made it simply and easy for workers to quickly identify and find the exact lightning pillar to be helped with. This one is called MMD and originally was designed for marking and identifying woods, but then we actually find it another application. It turned out that this tag can be applied to concrete bricks, and the reading distance, which is very special about this tag, can be up to 1.5 meters for handheld mobile computer under a layer of a concrete form. Next one is CAD. It's not a tag itself, but RFID label. It is reusable, and it is widely used in warehousing, where you have to mark pallets, and in case your pallet is gone and it's not coming back, you can simply take it off and use it once again. The huge benefit of this tag is long reading distance. It's above 5 meters. So now we're coming to combined RFID tags. This one we're calling tender hook tag because we were asked to design a tag for a hook that is used in meat processing plants. And it turned out to be that the only option to somehow make the tag last and operate in the open chamber at 220 degrees Celsius is to hug this hook. And so now we have widely used this kind of hook in various projects, and it seems that we are going to enlarge our product family with such a tag. The other combined RFID tag is multi-lock. It's both a seal and a tag, and you can see that with a special key you can lock the tag itself, but still you can read the code inside because the chip is hidden right here, and in other modification right here. It has two various locks. You can see it in the picture here and here. And we use this tag marking heavy metal production components. Next one is KORDON. It's also combined RFID UHF seal, which is used mostly for gas cylinders because we face the problem that these kind of products, these kind of items need to be not only locked, but also rolled. And here, like while transporting these kind of items are rolled, and this is why it is essential for the tag not only to be readable, but also to be well fixed. And here we used cable and a triple lock. And I think this is one of the last, this is the last combined RFID tag that we have. We call it S-tag BUR. Was designed for heavy metal production components, for oil tubes, and this is essential that this tag was designed for resistance welding, and you can see in the picture at the bottom, it is with this cover, with this steel cover, the tube can be transported easily, and still the tag is in place and readable, and it goes through high temperature and cold temperature and responds perfectly. And the last one, our top of the line of last year, the one that we used for rail and logistics is RFID tag called STIL. This tag is super resistant to high temperature, long-term exposure from minus 60 up to 270 degrees Celsius, and short-term exposure up to 20 minutes. It can last in temperature up to 300 degrees Celsius. You can see in the picture, the bottom right picture, the welding process shown in this photo was deliberately lengthy, and even at this condition, the tag was responding and the reading distance wasn't damaged. I guess this is the end of my presentation. We are very welcoming you to ask your questions, and thank you for your attention. In case you're interested, please contact us, me and my supervisor here. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra, for a wonderful presentation. And maybe before the questions of our guests, we can speak a little bit about the market. So you mentioned about the Pillars project. As I know, you have a lot of projects. So maybe you can tell us more about some of them.
Well, as you mentioned before, a lot of projects are under NDA, but I think we can name the industries. These are rail, these are office equipment, these are logistics, these are warehousing, these are gas, oil, and also hazardous liquid transportation.
Okay, and maybe not about the project, but maybe about the problems which you met when you make this project.
As far as issues are concerned, of course, RFID system is an expensive solution, which, customers do not really rapidly understand why they need it, but still, when it comes to improving their inventory system and they counting the costs they're facing now, they eventually frequently, like let's say 75 to 90%, they do understand that this system is something they need. And the only problem right now, I think, is the costs of the equipment and the tags, because not everybody understands why the tag can be that expensive, especially hard tag. But we need to remember that these tags last for ages, and the cost that they will help to cut down will be cut down very, very soon, in a few years, or maybe less. It depends on the project.
Yes, I think it depends on the project and the sphere of implementation, of course. Before I ask you the next question, I would like to say our guest, so please ask us questions if you are interested. In the bottom, you have questions and answers and chat, so you can write your questions there and we will answer, of course. Alexandra, can you tell us, please, how COVID-19 impacted the growth rate of the industry of RFID in Russia, and how it impacted your company?
As we said before, sadly but true, COVID-19 played a huge role in developing RFID business in Russia, mainly because the question was how to speed up inventory, how to speed up, let's say, delivery process, and how to make sure that what is located in your warehouse or office is still there, or maybe it was moved, or I don't know, forgotten somewhere. In order to speed up these processes, a lot of business industries and companies realize the importance and the urgency of introducing RFID systems to their businesses. So in terms of our cooperation and our work, our manufacturing plant in Dmitrov worked non-stop, and our last year was kind of profitable for us, gaining big projects that are still lasting and up to come.
Okay, wonderful. And as you mentioned, you have office in Europe, and as I know, a lot of companies, Russian companies, RFID companies nowadays think about maybe open some office in Europe. Can you share your experience?
Let's say we are now really working hard on developing the export of RFID hard tags to European countries via our European office. They have demand, and demand is huge there. But once again, Europe is, as we understood, kind of certain about high pricing, which can be well, a questionable moment, because it all depends on how many tags in projects are going to be involved. And of course, as manufacturers, we can, let's say, play with pricing, and we are hoping for the best and trying and doing our utmost to bring our tags to European market as well.
Thank you. And if we start to speak about the equipment, you're producer of the tag, and of course, as I understand and as I know, you buy readers. And as I mentioned in my review, that nowadays we don't have a good producer of readers on other market. Do you think the same? And do you think that maybe soon we will have one or not?
As far as we know, there are some ideas, there are some projects on developing our, let's say, Russian readers. But of course, right now, this is the very beginning, the very start, and we're sure that the more time will be devoted to engineering readers of good quality, of high quality, the bigger is the chance that we eventually can see these products. But of course, nowadays, well, today, the most, I think, well-known RFID equipment supplier is Zebra. And of course, there are some additional suppliers, for example, Chinese. For our projects, we recommend Chainway, which showed good performance, and they kind of enlarging their product line. And I think that, well, it's questionable whether they can compete with Zebra, but they're still holding their market share. And I suppose that, again, the more time passes, the more product we can see, and we will see how it will work here in Russia. And maybe it will be not only a competition between importers, imported equipment, but also between our equipment produced and designed here and the one that is imported. Well, hoping at least for that.
Yes, yes. So only what we have is to hope that in some years we will have it. Yes, yes. But I'm hope too. You have a huge diversity of the tags. I'm not a specialist in the tags. Maybe you can say us which of them are really competitive on the international market, the best one.
Well, in terms of international market, as I said before, we're right now working on introducing our hard tags to international RFID market. But what is already working is safety seals with RFID tags, which we are exporting to our Germany office. And as far as I know, it has its demand, it has its popularity there. And once again, we're now trying to enlarge our capacity and try to make the market share bigger.
Wonderful. And can you say us a few words about import substitution? Is it help you?
Well, in our production process, we do not use any other import tax as an example, or as, well, let's say, additional part. What we use is only raw materials and of course imported inlays or bought here by Micron. For example, the tag that you saw that I called top of the line 3D S tag 3D, it has Micron's inlays, so it's 100% Russian product.
Wow, cool. And yeah, it's from your side. But if we speak about your customers, government helps them. They give them aid if they buy the Russian product. Is this program help you? So growth of the.
If we're talking about, let's say, state purchases, then of course, Russian origin is, well, let's say, privileged in comparison to imported tags. But for regular customers, of course, the main question is how much does a tag cost? But I think we're quite competitive here because, once again, we do everything by ourselves in terms of hard tags. And we can state that we are certainly not less competitive than import hard tags.
Thank you very much. And my last question, can you give us a vision of the future development of RFID, both in Russia and internationally?
Here in Siltag, we suppose that the even bigger growth is estimated, and we are hoping that more and more companies will understand the importance and the urgency and all the benefits that RFID system gives. But as far as we can judge by this point, there is a huge boost, as I said before, and the market is quite mature, and more projects are up to come, and we are just trying to persuade our customers that it's not about costs, it's about benefits that you can get. And once it counts, good decisions are made.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your answer, and I hope that Russian market will develop. And so, dear guests, if you have some questions for us, we're open to you. We're here and waiting. Oh, everyone know very good Russian market, maybe. Yeah. So. Okay. So I think our guests understand everything. It's mean. Usually people say that people understand everything and all they understand nothing. So I hope that in other case this is just variant.
But once again, in case you have any questions, we are ready to answer. You can email us and we will give you a consultation. So we're very welcoming you to cooperate with us.
Thank you, Anastasia, for a very beautiful panel discussion. I hope our audience has learned a lot, and they will contact you if they have any query. If nobody has any question, we can just end this webinar. Thank you very much for coming and joining us, and we'll see you again. Also, just want to tell you that our forthcoming Global Virtual Summit will be starting from May. So if you are interested to present again, you are more than welcome. And attendees can also register for those presentations as well by going on our website and checking our agenda. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming, and have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye.